So,
So,
Morad, how are you?
I'm doing well. You?
I'm so happy to have you here.
We've been here 3 days. It's been unbelievable.
Do you like Monterrey?
It's been a dream for us, really. The energy, the football, the hosting capabilities, it's been fantastic.
You went to the stadium yesterday?
Yes.
Did you like it?
I don't know if I should say yes or no.
You can say yes. I mean, you were a
Oh, it was
former soccer
amazing.
player, so.
Whenever I walk into a stadium, I feel butterflies. I get all of the energy. I get so excited. You know, even watching that video, I get so excited.
I know.
The spirit of the game,
I
you
know.
can feel it.
I know.
And that's.
You play with your national team, right?
I did. I played for the Palestinian national team.
Nice.
Back in the day. So it was 2006 World Cup qualifiers.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
What? Nice.
yeah.
You know what is to play in a World Cup.
Almost. We never qualified,
I know.
but I know what the World Cup is. I know the passion of football.
Yeah.
I believe in football, really to change the world.
So before we start,
Yes.
I want to say something and ask the audience something. Okay?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So I want to ask all the people that are here with us to raise your hand. I'm not a mom, but I have one. So I would like to ask you and raise your hand if you're a mom, you have a mom, you know someone that is a mom or it's going to be a mom. Levante la mano el que sea mamá, tenga una mamá, conozca a alguien que es mamá, que vaya próximamente su pareja a ser mamá. Prácticamente todos. So everyone here knows what maybe motherhood is.
Right.
So I want to start with you asking you the basic.
Yeah.
What is FC Mother?
Yeah, I think what you just asked before is the purpose of FC Mother. We all come from mothers. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter where you're from. I'm from New York. I'm from Mexico. It doesn't matter. We actually all come from a mother. And that 9 months in the womb is the most valuable period of your whole life. Mm-hmm. And what happens in that 9 months? Is mom supported? Does mom have all of the tools needed? Is mom feeling right? Does she have a community around? Time magazine. And it was this pregnant woman on the cover of Time magazine. This is 13 years ago. And it said, how 9 months shape the rest of your life, the new science of the origins of health and disease. And that introduced this new field called the developmental origins of health and disease. And they've mapped every single chronic disease back to the womb,
Wow.
the 9 months in the womb. This field has been around 50 years. There's scientists, about 5,000 around the world working on it. And when I saw that, it struck me as like the most obvious thing. It's like, oh my God, we can solve chronic disease in 9 months. We can improve all of these things. So I started getting super interested in it. I set up a lab with Harvard Medical School and a bunch of incredible scientists, midwives, community health workers, and we started correlating exactly what the problems were. Mm-hmm. And then we started setting up free prenatal centers throughout the US. So the power of simple things in the prenatal period is astonishing. Community support, just basic education. In the United States, we rank last in maternal mortality in the whole developed world. We rank last in infant mortality. It's more dangerous to be a mother in the United States than any other developed country. And actually, I've been traveling the world on this topic. This problem is the largest problem in public health. And it's universal, it's everywhere, and nobody's aware of it. Mm-hmm. So our work started really to understand the science, and then we organized a political coalition. Senators, congressmen, and 1,300 US mayors. We passed the first policy in the United States. This was exactly 10 years ago. And I thought passing policy would help, and it didn't do a thing.
Yeah.
And so we had to find a creative way to say, all we're trying to do here is focus on supporting mothers in the pregnancy period and the 2 years after. It's a very simple idea, but this topic is so controversial. And people want to know your opinion right away on abortion. They want to know your opinion on gender. They want to understand all of these culture war issues. And we're trying to do something very obvious, and it is a very challenging problem. And so once we calculated all the data, we realized that if you measured pregnancy's importance to every human being in this room, it is those 9 months in the womb are the #1 driver of all disease in all humanity. It's 194 million life years. That's more than cancer, it's more than diabetes, it's more than heart disease, it's more than hypertension. We published this at Harvard in 2019. Nobody cared. It did not matter. And so the challenge for us was, how do we get people to engage? And it wasn't until we converted that data into the World Cup that we had a breakthrough.
Yeah.
So what we did was rank the 48 World Cup nations by pregnancy. So Mexico is ranked 42nd. In Mexico, we lose 1 million life years every year due to unhealthy mothers. That's worth $135 billion. The US ranks 44th, Brazil ranks 46th. That's out of 48. And so what we did was focus on these 3 countries. We said, we're going to create a competition. Who can generate more healing for mothers between these 3 countries using the power of football? And so that's a little bit about what FC Mother's backstory is, and we translate maternal health into football.
So I want to emphasize something you start telling about, besides knowing that horrific number and mortality rate, do you have any personal experience that influenced you, or you have someone a friend, a family, to put the lights on this specific problem of health and motherhood?
Yeah, I mean, when you stop to think about it, we all come from a mother. My mom brought me to this planet.
Yeah.
She gave me everything. And then if you think about it, my mothers, they all, they named me Morad. That's my name. Morad means a wish.
Nice.
So I'm their wish. So I owe them everything. I owe mothers everything, is how I see it. And it's very clear. My mother is like God to me. And is my best friend. There's nothing I could ever say that's even close. So when you look at the size of kind of the contributions that our mothers give us, and then you realize, second, they do so much that it's ignored. It's kind of weird. Then you realize, it's our job to figure out creative ways to honor them, to help them feel support, and that was really, it's very, very simple, really.
I know.
It's not.
We shouldn't ask for people to empathize with motherhood because it's so basic.
Right.
I mean, you say everyone here was born from a mother.
Right.
Everyone here knows someone that is mother. How do you use football, soccer? I mean, I know your background, your experience, but why you decided to use football as a vehicle to put lights on motherhood?
It's a great question. Our data shows that 80% of the problem is social. Only 20% is clinical. So when we think of health, wellness, and longevity, a $10 trillion industry, everybody thinks about doctors, medical care, biohacking, all these great innovations, but 80% of it is social, your social environment. And that's the people, the places who surround you. And when you look at pregnancy, that's no different. So we said, okay, everyone's looking at clinical interventions. They're not working. And also, the medical system is with you 5% of the time you're pregnant. 95% of the time you're with your family, friends, community, employment, whatever it is. You're living your life.
Yeah.
So the people are looking in the wrong direction for the solution, and the solution is social. So what's the biggest social vehicle in the world? It's not religion. Football's bigger than religion, if you add up a lot of the religion. Football.
That's crazy.
Right? Football's bigger than government. Football transcends any of these divisive things. So what else do we have as humanity that unites us? If you really just zoom out and think about it.
Yeah.
And as a social vehicle, as a social tool, is football. So we look at football as a platform for healing. And that's the power of it.
I know we are in the World Football Summit.
Yeah.
But it also involves sports in general. I mean, we saw the case, and I watched an interview of you, of Serena Williams, how hard it was for her after having her first baby,
Right.
because she had post the depression, and people, society, expected her to go and win a Grand Slam
Right.
away.
Right.
And they don't think about everything that involves maternity.
It's incredible, the miracle of creating a human life. The miracle, the work it takes on the body, the toll it takes for a mother to deliver a human. And the level of kind of awareness on just that process is, it's amazing. And, one of the things, if you look at Serena's case, the best athlete in the world, she almost died 2 times.
I know.
With HBO filming a documentary live, best medical care in the world. So it's not, you could be the best of everything, you could have the most money, you could be the best athlete, and it's still a very, it's a big problem. And so that's kind of the irony of it, is somebody just created a human life, literally a human, and we're saying go back to work in 6 weeks. And so it's breaking a lot of this, it's very silly. It's dumb. It's like, that's so dumb. So let's not do that anymore. And I think the vehicle to do that with is, it's not really trying to convince people, and it's not advocacy, and it's not all of these kind of tried and true things. It's doing it without doing it, really. It's doing it and engaging people in it through the beautiful game. It's not through advocacy and kind of public health campaigns. They don't work.
It also isn't a charity, right? Because
Yeah.
I read a lot of articles about FC Mother,
Right.
and you emphasize that you don't want people to see FC Mother as a charity.
Yeah, I mean, there's no charitable money in women's health. So if you're starting one, good luck. I funded this for the last 10 years. And the whole point is we want to move $1 billion into supporting maternal health. The scale of the problem is $27 trillion. So how are you going to address the scale of the need, right? So you have to come up with a creative solution to move enough funds to support, the scale of the need. So we've come up with a business model, with a foundation, with a lab approach that uses third-party funding to make sure that it's scalable and free for communities, football clubs, families, mothers, and everybody. But yeah, we have to rethink how we distribute and fund public health.
Besides awareness, what do you expect about Mexico? You said about the mortality rate, also about the United States. Also, I've seen FC Mother Brazil.
Yes.
What do you expect about Mexico?
So we're live now in 12 cities in Brazil. We're collecting data. So far, we've been able to reduce stress in the preterm period by 96%. In the US, we're live in 3 cities. We're collecting data there. Mexico is so interesting because of everything that's unified and coherent here, that we think we can start with, the host city here and the host cities, and work backwards into legacy. What's a greater legacy than life years and longevity, right? So we think there's an opportunity to do something really permanent here. And that's the whole point of this. It's creating a new system. It's not doing a one-off initiative. It's not doing a media campaign. It's saying we're going to set up the infrastructure. Football has existing infrastructure. Yesterday we visited Tigres, and the day before, and we saw the infrastructure. We saw the amazing community relations. And it was like, oh my God, it's already built. It's already built. Let's add maternal health to the portfolio of initiatives. And that's what gets us so exciting. There's all this existing infrastructure. We don't have to build anything from scratch. And the leadership and the vision and the energy here was really inspiring. So we think we could set up something really powerful here in terms of not just legacy, but a permanent platform.
Did you face obstacles in the process?
Oh my
And
God.
which one is the most Yeah, the big one.
Yeah. Well, I think people really misunderstand maternal health and they want to take it into many directions. A lot of people want to debate you. I don't understand that, but they do. Um, and a lot of people want to pretend it's not their problem. Oh, maternal health. The number one thing I get is maternal health, talk to my wife. Or, oh, maternal health, really good job, Morad. Oh, that's a great cause. I'm like, no, you don't understand. It's actually the biggest issue in the world, and it's addressable. Name me another issue that's addressable in chronic disease. We have moonshots to go to solve cancer. Okay, great. We have moonshots to go solve diabetes. Great. We can actually address pregnancy. We know who's pregnant. There's only 2% of the population in the world right now is pregnant. In the US, it's 4 million births a year. 4 million is nothing. 4 million is half of Manhattan. It's nothing. That's the whole country. So it's like, name me another thing like that. So people really misunderstand it. They don't think it applies to them. And then there's really kind of this strange war on mothers that I don't understand. And it's a culture war. So we get a lot of that misunderstanding that is kind of, it's kind of cultural, and I think that's part of the obstacles.
Yeah.
But structurally, the most inspiring part, to be honest, is when we host these healing circles with mothers. And we work with our midwife teams, and we go to football communities, and we gather all the mothers in the communities. And the power of just unifying mothers is the most inspiring thing in the world. I mean, they create life, right? So, I mean, imagine the power of those rooms where mothers are connecting to mothers. And right now there's 2 billion living mothers in the world.
Wow.
2 billion. And their wisdom is not being captured. And it's not being shared with new mothers. So what FC Mother does is we collect their stories. We create a healing library. We then share that with new mothers. And this is this social component that I've mentioned. So it's really straightforward stuff, but it's hard in the sense of people don't understand it. And but what football gives us is an entire one-stop shop to do all of the things from community engagement, gamification, engaging fans, family and friends to support mothers in their own networks.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's been an amazing experience translating this into football.
I just want to clear some things about your social media because I love some quotes that you put there. Because you say, we all know Pelé, right?
Say that again?
Who is Pelé?
Yeah.
Todos sabemos aquí quién es Pelé. But you emphasize on the social media, okay, we know who is Pelé, but here's Donna,
Yeah,
his mother.
right,
Or Cristiano Ronaldo,
right,
her mother.
right.
And basketball professional players in their speech about being the MVP, and they are grateful for their mother.
Right.
So everyone here was born from a mother, but we don't give the importance to them.
Right.
And that's crazy.
It's crazy. But athletes know this, right? Because the mother of Pelé, of Cristiano, of Kevin Durant, who you mentioned, they were their best friend,
real
their
MVP.
coach, the real MVP, their teammate, their equipment manager, their everything. So that's what's so powerful about the athlete. The athlete and the mother combination, if you ask 99% of athletes, why are you the best? The same, my mother.
My mother.
I mean, my mother, my mother, my mother. So we found there it's already a connection. Football and sports are already connected with mother at the heart of it because the athlete, there is no Pelé without Dona Celeste. Now there's something like 75 statues in Brazil on Pelé. There's not one of his mother. So you think about it, it's this whole other dimension of looking at athletes. I want to know their origin story. I want to know who made Cristiano. I want to know who made the athlete.
Yeah.
And that's to me like this whole other, it sounds obvious when you say it, but now it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's power that and get behind it.
Yeah. Who took them to their games? No? who gave them
Orange
food.
slices.
Yeah,
Yes.
school.
Who bought them the kit when they found their favorite player and they dreamed about it for a year.
And also not just male athletes,
Right.
but now we can see professional football about women.
Right.
They have to be athletes, but also they want to be mothers,
Right.
and they have to try to find a space where they can have a personal achievement, like being mom,
Right.
but also be a professional player.
Right.
So the mental health there, it's crazy.
It's crazy. We've heard so many stories
Yeah.
of players, female players across the world, who were told certain things of we'd have some support from the club and that went away. There is so much incoherence and chaos around this topic. And, you know, there's very slow movements happening at different levels, but it's totally inadequate. And so, yeah, I mean, even there are players that we've been talking to who got cut right away when they told the club they were pregnant. And there's no protection, even though you're an employee of the club, like you would have in a corporation. Right? So there's so much blind spots on this topic, and that's what the power of this movement will do, is say, hold on, guys, let us give you some clarity, okay?
Yeah.
We've organized the best kind of, you know, best intentioned people who've studied this topic. Why don't you just listen to what the science tells us? Let us solve the problem. And that's the point, is just creating frameworks that create very clear guidelines on how to solve a lot of this stuff.
I remember being on Olympics Games in Paris, and people and fans were amazed about watching pregnant athletes competing.
Right.
Or there were a lot of athletes complaining about they weren't maternity rooms for them to be concentrated
Right.
during the Olympic Games. So there's so many to work on, not just
Right.
awareness of everything around maternity, motherhood, because it's so essential
Right.
for humanity,
Right.
and we forget about it.
No, we forget about it, and it's interesting because how do you start to, when you're aware of it, you see it like this, where we have, I think, 5 World Cups until 2031, over the next 6 years. And so we want to use all of this energy, attention, and focus and have very tangible programmatic outcomes. And then be able to say, you know, we're not really here to ask for permission and to try to convince you. We're not going to spend our energy that way. We're going to work around that.
Yeah.
And that's where this, you know, you go to the athlete. Just get back to the heart of the game. The heart of the match, the heart of every match, an athlete is a mother. Whether it's obvious to you or you have to think about it, but once you do, you realize it. So we're putting that issue right at the center of the pitch. And that's I think, you know, what's fascinating about the opportunity. We've seen football used in so many creative ways. I mean, look at what football's been able to achieve on mental health in a short period. And football and other sports. And now athletes are taking mental health breaks, and it'll probably be normal soon. And so you see things like that sports are able to do, that government is not able to do, or organizations are not able to do.
Yeah, we saw Simone Biles a few years ago.
Right.
And a lot of people that now take care about mental health. What's next for FC Mother?
So what's next for FC Mother? The Club World Cup. We're setting up here in Mexico. We'll be launching in July.
Nice.
So Brazil, US, Mexico, and we'll run that for 1 year.
Okay.
And, you know, what's fascinating is everywhere we look now, in every city we attend, there's a football club and a group of mothers. And so it's really getting coherent on a lot of the growth. But what's really important is that there's tangible outcomes. So our work is kind of growing. We're trying to make sure it works and that we're generating the results. But we're organizing an event in New York on July 10th, right before the final. That event will be called the World Cup of Healing. It's with World Football Summit. And we're very excited about that because that'll kind of be the first unification of our mother community, football, capital, and science. And so our work is to really keep unifying these worlds.
I love that I think you use the key word. It's not trying to convince people. It's just like to realize what's happening.
Right.
And the awareness. How can, besides everything you said about the schedule for FC Mother for the next year, how can people get involved with FC Mother?
Yeah, I mean, the beautiful thing is it's about stories. Let's share mother stories. It was funny, I've been doing this work for a long time. I never bothered to ask my own mother, what was it like when you were pregnant with me? What was it like for you as a human being? How did you get through the challenges? What tools worked for you? And so we collect mother stories, and we're creating a documentary now with Amazon Prime on mother stories of footballers. And so it's fascinating. I think everybody has a story, and we'd love to hear it. So yeah, I mean, we're collecting stories, and wide open invitation for anybody to get involved.
Love it. Do you have anything else you want to add or tell everyone here at the World Football Summit?
I think what's amazing about this place at this time is, if you saw the panel before, and what's happening here is very special. I'm really honored to just be a part of it. Yeah.
So I want to thank you. It was really nice knowing about FC Mother, read about FC Mother, and I have to say that men is interested on doing this project for women and for men also.
Right.
To realize what motherhood and maternity and health, mental health is so important. So I'm really honored to talk to you, to talk with the audience here at the World Football Summit, and also be grateful with Jan and Marian that at the beginning of the day, they told about the importance to empower women.
Right.
So I think FC Mother is that. Thank you so
Amazing.
much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Morad Farid.
Thank you.